So today we're going to be talking about the attempt made by Chris Coglanes, I think. I'm just going to call him Chris Sides, to stop Phee Collier and the Minnesota Lynx. Like, for me, this is one of the weirdest, and I mean straight up weirdest ways of trying to stop Phee Collier. And it wasn't even by necessity. It was by choice. So obviously, look, by choice, by necessity last year, there were times when Alyssa Smith had to guard Phee Collier. However, when you have Maisha Hines-Allen, when you have Maddie Seegers, when you have all of these players, when you have Dejanay playing the 4 as an option, and your go-to is Alyssa Smith on Phee Collier. And, like, I'm going to show you guys. So it was only really the third quarter. It was only really the third quarter that Phee was being guarded by Alyssa Smith. And in the third quarter, Phee Collier had 18 points. She had 18 points in the third quarter. Did he change matchups? No. Did he change how Phee was being guarded? No. And if you guys saw at the start of the game why Phee Collier was doing so badly, Alyssa Smith was out of the game quickly. They, for some reason, decided to run an Alyssa Smith-Maddie Seegers combination through the third quarter. That was his idea when he had Maddie Seegers on Jessica Shepard. They were doing well. They were tied at halftime. And his idea of, stopping Phee, who they had done a great job. They had done a really good job. Look at the first half. Look at Fee's shooting percentages in the first half. 4 of 10 from the field. She had 14 points on 4 of 10 from the field. Yeah, a couple of dumb fouls by... I think she had a couple of dumb fouls by Alyssa. I think Alyssa got Jessica Shepard a dumb one as well. And I think Tiara McCowan might have got Phee with a foul as well. But either way. Phee, 4 of 10 from the field. 4 of 10 from the field. Whether it was Maddie Seegers or whether it was Maisha Hines-Allen. Maisha Hines-Allen did a really good job on her today. All game, Maisha Hines-Allen did a really good job. But he only put Maisha Hines-Allen on her in the fourth quarter. He only decided the fourth quarter was when he wanted to put Maisha Hines-Allen on Phee. To be fair, early on in the game he did, to start the game. And then in the third quarter, he just decided, you know what? We're going to focus our better defender on Jessica Shepard. And I understand Jessica Shepard is really good. I understand. But, like, I'm sorry. I don't care if Jessica Shepard on the day is cooking. I don't care. You guard the best player. Like, I've always said this. It's like, let's just say in a hypothetical, you're playing against the Fever. And you've got Dejanay, who's your best perimeter defender. If you're smart, you're putting Dejanay on Caitlin. And imagine if DeWanna Bonner hits a couple of shots and you decide, or it's a tie game, DeWanna Bonner's had a good first half, so you decide we're going to go and put Paige on Caitlin. And Paige has no answer for Caitlin. And suddenly Caitlin takes over, Caitlin gets into rhythm, and it's game over. Like, that is the dumbest thing you can do. Like, you were in the position that you wanted. You were in the position that you wanted to be in the first half. With Phee in foul trouble and going 2 for 5 from the field in the second quarter. With Phee having a really mediocre first half. Efficiency wasn't there. Yes, she was getting bailed at the free throw line a little bit. But she was not great in the first half. If you want to rewatch it, she was not great in the first half. So instead, with Jessica Shepard was giving you the business in the first half. You just go into the first half tied at 46. So instead, what you decide to do is say, you know what, Fee's having a bad game. We're gonna go and put our worst defender. And I'm sorry, like, at this stage, I've said it. Alyssa Smith does not put herself on the floor. She doesn't. At this stage, Alyssa does not put herself on the floor. So I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to say anything bad about NaLyssa Smith here, because NaLyssa Smith is the worst defender in the WNBA, but she doesn't play herself. Like, it's a fact. It's a fact. NaLyssa Smith does not put herself in games. It is in fact the decision of Chris Kirklandis. And not only that, he came in at the end of the third quarter and was being asked questions, and he basically said, I'm paraphrasing, but he seemed very confused about the wings cut, or the links cutting. A team whose entire offense is cutting, passing, ball movement, and then either open 3-point shots, or one of Phee or Courtney Williams sometimes can create their own shot. But everything else is ball movement. He seemed confused. He seemed confused that the links cut. And he had no answers for Phee Collier. Not because he tried everything, like a Nate Tibbetts on a Caitlin Clark, or like, in fairness, teams showed 3, 4, 5 different looks at Angel Wilson at times. He had no answer for Phee Collier because he went into the game not expecting her to cut. He went into the game not expecting the best cutter in the WNBA to cut. And also putting the single worst off-ball defender in the WNBA on the best cutter in the WNBA. Like, it was a calamitous coaching performance. An absolute calamitous coaching performance on the defensive end from a defensive coach. And I understand this guy cannot coach offense. I understand his idea of offense is pass and a screen away. And then, Paige run the pick and roll is their best offense. They don't go to it very often. But I understand this guy cannot coach offense. But, like, this guy is meant to be a defensive coach. And his idea of stopping the best player in the world was to put NaLyssa Smith on her in the start of the third quarter. In crunch time, when it really mattered. His idea of stopping her was to put NaLyssa Smith on her. Because, I don't know, he expected her not to cut. And I mean, look, I've never coached at a level as high as him. I've never coached at a level as high as USC. I've never been an assistant coach at the WNBA. The highest level I've coached has been an assistant coach in the Irish National League, which is possibly the lowest level of pro basketball. I say possibly the lowest. It's one of the lowest levels of pro basketball. In the top 5% of lowest levels of pro basketball. Like, there are 95% of pro basketball is a higher level. But yeah, that is it. That is it. I'm just so shocked. I'm so shocked at how bad a job he did coaching defense. And I'm baffled. I'm baffled at how bad a job it was. And he had no answers because not only did he try nothing, try different things. He actively put the worst defender in the league on the best player in the league. Like, and again, not by necessity either.